So forget about 2020 being when the decade started. The real decade begins now in 2026. And we are going to be in uncharted territory. But because it's new territory, it's uncharted territory, it's basically like being in the Wild West. Okay? And anything flies in the Wild West, right? Anything goes. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carmen. Welcome. In this video today, I'm going to give you my predictions for 2026. World predictions for what could be happening around the world in 2026, as well as personal predictions for you based on your personal year number in numerology. So make sure to watch the whole video because the second half of the video is going to be like a personal reading for you. Okay, we're diving into what could happen for you personally on a personal level in the second half of the video. But let's talk about my predictions for what's going to happen around the world in 2026 first. Because 2026 is going to be a revolutionary year. Okay, it's going to be a revolutionary year. And let's talk about why that is. So 2026 is a universal 1 year in numerology. Okay, and that's because if you add all of the numbers in 2026 together, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 4 plus 6 equals 10. And 10 reduces to a number 1. So we have a 1 universal year in numerology in 2026. And we specifically have a 461 because the two numbers that we added together before we got the 10 were 4 and 6. So this is specifically a 46-1 universal year. So let's talk about what exactly that means. 1 in numerology is the number of starting over again. Okay. Basically, what that means is that we are starting a brand new cycle in 2026. A whole new cycle is being started. We just completed a 9-year cycle in 2025. We've just completed it. And now we are moving into a brand new cycle in 2026. So basically, what that means is that the energetic decade begins now. Okay. So forget about 2020 being when the decade started. The real decade begins now in 2026. This is the beginning of this new energetic decade that we are starting, this new cycle that we're moving into. So there were a lot of things that came to an end last year. There were a lot of things that happened, a lot of predictions that I made that ended up coming true. Not all of them, but there were a lot of things that I predicted for 2025 that did end up coming true. So you want to take a look at that video. I'll link it below in the description box. What does that mean to be starting a brand new energetic decade and a new cycle? And this is not just a brand new cycle that we are starting in 2026. This is the beginning of New Earth. Okay. So what I'm being shown is that basically for the past, not just for the past 9 years, okay, the past cycle that we're moving out of, but basically for the past few thousands of years, we have been spinning around in this dark period and this dark time on planet Earth. Basically, we've been going through a winter cycle, okay? The Earth goes through cycles, right? Goes through different seasons, and we basically were in winter for not just the past 9 years that we're moving out of, but basically for the past few thousand years, we have been in the cycle and the season of winter on planet Earth. Okay, and I'm being given the Wizard of Oz as an analogy for this. Do you remember in the Wizard of Oz how Dorothy, in the first part of the movie, everything is in black and white, right? So, the whole world, everything is in black and white. And I'm being shown that basically what we're moving out of is that part in the movie where Dorothy is in the house, right? She's inside of the house and the house has been taken up by the tornado, right? The house is inside of the tornado. and it's spinning around, and it's spinning around inside of the tornado, and everything is in black and white and just, dark and gray and no color. And she's in the tornado and she's spinning around and she doesn't know what's going to happen next. And then all of a sudden, the house falls out of the tornado and it lands on the ground, right? Remember this from The Wizard of Oz? and everything stops. The spinning stops. And she gets up and everything is still in black and white, right? She's like walking through the house, wondering what's happening. Why is everything so still? And why is the house not spinning anymore? Am I still in the tornado? What's going on? Right? And she's walking through the house, and then she opens the door, right? She opens the door of the house and she looks outside, and everything is in Technicolor. Do you remember that from The Wizard of Oz? Everything is bright. All the colors are vibrant, beautiful, and the whole world is no longer in black and white. Everything now is in Technicolor. And she's seeing color for the first time ever. And she doesn't know what to do with it because everything that she has been exposed to her whole entire life has been in black and white. She's like, wow, I'm not in Kansas anymore. She realizes then that she's not in Kansas anymore. So they're showing me that as an analogy for kind of what's happening now with 2026. Okay, this is what's going to happen with 2026. We have basically been spinning in the tornado, okay, for the past 9-year cycle that we were in, because that was a very difficult cycle that we just ended. But even beyond that, for the past couple thousand years, we've been spinning around in the tornado. We've been in black and white, and now the tornado has stopped spinning. We have landed, the house has landed, and we are in Oz, and everything is in Technicolor, and everything is bright and colorful like we have never seen before. So that is basically what we are going to land in 2026. And that's what the One energy is. It's all about new frontiers. It's being the explorer. It's being the pioneer, that person that does something first, and the trailblazer. That's what it is. The One energy is all about new beginnings. It's the trailblazer. It's the fool's journey, right? It's starting from scratch, starting all over again, all right? It's starting from the ground floor. So what that means is that this is going to be a wild year like we haven't had before, because we are entering uncharted territory. We are explorers, we are pioneers, and we have just entered New Earth. In 2026, we will finally solidly move into New Earth. And basically, we will be in uncharted territory where humanity has never been before. And everything is in Technicolor. And people are going to freak out because they're not going to know how to handle this new energy. So what that means is that, think about it, like if you've never seen color before, right? If you're used to everything being in black and white, if you're used to, you've been in the spinning tornado and everything has stopped spinning and everything is in color, and you're seeing color for the first time, you might not even recognize that what you're seeing is color, right? You might not even know what to do with it, okay? So what that means is that for some people, this is going to cause a lot of mental, it's going to cause a lot of cognitive dissonance is what I'm being shown, and a lot of awakening. And there's going to be a lot of people, we've seen a lot of people waking up, right? If you're watching this video, if you're one of my subscribers, you're definitely one of those people that's on the path that has already awakened. You landing in this new Earth, this new frontier, you're going to be able to see the color. You're going to be able to spot it for what it is, right? You've kind of already had one foot in Oz, or you've already had one foot in the New Earth this whole time. But for the vast majority of the population, this is the first time they've ever landed in Oz. It's going to cause a lot of mental anguish in people, denial, realizing that reality is not what they thought it was. Okay, reality is not what it seems. It's not what we have been lied to about. They told us it was one thing and it turns out it's something else. And a lot of awakening in a lot of people, which can cause a lot of mental turmoil. And your guidance will be instrumental during this time for those people. You're going to be greatly needed at this time to help assist those people who are seeing color for the first time and they don't know what to do with it. For those of you who are already on the path, a lot of people watching this, you're going to be able to see the color, the technicolor, for what it really is, right? And realize that we just landed in a new frontier, okay? And that new frontier is New Earth. We've landed in New Earth in 2026, and we are going to be in uncharted territory. We have left winter behind and we've entered into spring, and everything is energetically much better. But because it's new territory, it's uncharted territory, it's basically like being in the Wild West. Okay, and anything flies in the Wild West, right? Anything goes. And so there's going to be an element of this year that is untamed, right? That has this wild component to it where it can't be controlled, right? Because that's what being in the wild, wild west was. There were surprises around every corner. There were new things that the pioneers were having to deal with that they had not dealt with. The Native Americans, they had mastered all of that stuff. They knew those lands. It wasn't uncharted territory for them. But for the pioneers traveling across the United States, everything was new. There were new energies that they had to deal with that they had never dealt with before, and they didn't often know how to deal with those energies. And that's what the one energy is. The one is the trailblazer, it's the pioneer, and being bold and being brave and going into uncharted territories that are new and unfamiliar to you, right? So that's what the one energy is. Another way to put this is that we have landed in this new colorful frontier, but we haven't made it to Oz yet. Okay, this is just the beginning of New Earth. We have to follow the yellow brick road first, right? Follow the yellow brick road. And there will be challenges along the way, kind of like there were for Dorothy, right? When she was following the yellow brick road. But we will eventually make it to Oz the way she did. So what's going to be happening in this new cycle over the next few years is us going down the yellow brick road. So some of the surprises that are around the corner in 2026 will be related to the 4 energy and the 6 energy, right? Because you can't escape this. This is not just a 1 universal year, it's a 46 one. And the 4 is all about rebuilding from the ground up. Okay, it's a building energy. Think of any structure has to have 4 sides, right? So that's what 4 is. It's about structure, it's about rebuilding, and it can be a very difficult energy to be in, right? Because it is the number of work, okay? And the 6 energy is all about healing, and it's about rebalancing. It's about getting back into balance after you have you've gone through a period of unbalance. It's about getting back into balance. So it's about healing, it's about nurturing, it's about care, it's about, it's ruled by Venus, so it's about love. Now, some of those surprises that we will encounter in 2026 will be related to those 2 energies, the 4 and the 6 in this number, 46-1. One thing that we will see in this new uncharted land that we are moving into is going to be related to extraterrestrials, okay? Now, there could be more disclosure, okay? We saw disclosure happening in 2025. You're going to see that intensified in 2026. There could even be full disclosure in 2026. I'm being shown that's also possible for 2027 as well. Between these 2 years, 2026 to 2027, full disclosure of extraterrestrial life on other planets. It's going to be a big awakening for a lot of humanity when they realize this, because a lot of people know this. within their hearts, right? But to have the confirmation of it from people in power could really feel like you're in a different reality, right? Like you're in a new land. And last year in my 2025 predictions video, I predicted that we would start to learn the true origins of humanity and where humans really come from. We're going to see a continuation of that in 2026 and 2027, where humans really discover where they really come from. And if extraterrestrials have had a hand in our creation. I'm even being shown representatives from some extraterrestrial groups making a presence, or even contact with the Galactic Federation of Light. Or people in power now are letting the world know that yes, this is actually happening. These people, these extraterrestrial beings are here, and we have been in contact with, for example, the Galactic Federation. Okay, so that will be a hard pill to swallow for some people, because for some people that is not part of their reality, and it's going to shift their entire belief system. And for a lot of very religious people, this could cause a big shift within them, because a lot of religious books do not include do not talk about this kind of thing. This can even be the revelation of a civilization within the planet that people are not aware of, that has been existing already, okay? Such as inner Earth, okay? The inside of the Earth, as well as to Antarctica, the South Pole, is what I'm being shown for 2026. One is the number of birth, right? It's like being born again. It's like starting, like I said, it's starting a new cycle. Everything is fresh, everything is new. You're in uncharted territory. You've never been there before. So this could feel like a rebirth on the planet in 2026, right? Like everything is being reborn. And this is going to be a year of great opportunity for many people, okay? Especially when it comes to rebuilding your life. So a lot of people will be rebuilding their lives, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities like never before. And whereas in 2025, whatever opportunities there were, nothing stuck, right? Because 2025 was a 9-year, and we were ending a 9-year cycle in 2025. So a lot of things had to come to conclusion. A lot of loose ends had to be tied up. But if you wanted to start something new, you probably struggled quite a bit in 2025, right? Or you at least struggled more than you should have had to, right? Because the energies were just not supportive of opportunity and movement. But 2026 is going to be quite the opposite. Now you will see opportunities presented to you like never before. But this can also be a year of reset too. And that's because with the one energy, we have the energy of rebirth and renewal, but that also includes reset as well, okay? And so this could be a reset with the economies of around the world. The last time we had a big reset was in 2008. And that was during a one universal year. And that's when you saw Goldman Sachs and all these other banks starting to fail, and the governments of the world having to bail them out. It was pretty much a reset for the economies all around the world, right? And that started in September. Okay, it was September of 2008. And 2008 was a one universal year. September of 2008 was a one universal month. So we had the double one energy that year. Now, so because we're coming up to another 1 year, there could definitely be another reset, something like that, that happens again. That doesn't always happen, but it's definitely a possibility, especially in the month of September, because September is a one universal month in this one universal year. Now, I also think that the economy could start taking off and improving and doing a lot better in 2026. So if a reset doesn't happen in 2026, then we will see a continuation of that, where the economy starts to improve, okay? But it could go either way in 2026. Now, I'm also being shown reset in terms of currency could be a big one here. The current world reserve currency that the world is using is the dollar, right? That could change in 2026. We really start to see the world is starting to now move in a different direction of having a new world reserve currency and not so much the dollar anymore. It could be something like that. Another thing that could happen in 2026 is revolution, okay? And that's because the one energy is a very rebellious energy, okay? It's all about, you being your own authority and rejecting other people trying to control you. It's a very bold, brave energy. And it's all about, no, I'm not going to let you do that to me. I'm going to set a boundary and I'm going to be in control of myself. So it can be very rebellious. First of all, we could see a lot of countries around the world starting to put themselves first. Okay. And it's like, let's put the oxygen mask on ourselves first. And then once we save ourselves, then we can get back to helping out, and doing things around the rest of the world. Start letting other countries come into our country but let's save ourselves first. We see them starting to set more boundaries in 2026 because of this very individualistic energy. And it's also, like I said, it's also a very rebellious energy too. So we could see many people around the world starting to rebel against their own governments. Okay, this has a revolutionary kind of energy to it. And I'm being shown a lot of corruption being exposed, okay, because we're going to be in New Earth now in 2026. And corruption cannot continue in New Earth energy. Corruption is of a lower vibration, it's of a lower density, and it cannot continue in the New Earth energy, which is a higher density. And the truth is a much higher energy. It has a much higher frequency. So the truth will prevail in New Earth. So we will start to see more exposure of some corruption that is happening around governments around the world. And make no mistake, there has been corruption happening in all of the countries and governments around the world. And this could be like exposure of corruption with celebrities too. Okay, people in power as well as famous people get exposed. And I do feel like a lot of that will lead to more of the death of celebrity culture, which we saw fading away in 2025. I'm being shown that there's just so much that hasn't been exposed yet, and that's all going to start to come out so much like never before. It's going to be a real shock to a lot of people in 2026. Because like I said, they've been living in one reality, and now a lot of the corruption gets exposed, and they realize that reality, once again, is not what they have been shown. They have been lied to. There's been all these things going on behind the scenes, and they had no idea that their government was hiding this from them, and now they see it for what it is. So it could cause a lot of rebellion, rebellious energy, people rebelling against their governments in 2026. There could be some states within the US that want to secede from the Union. This could be states legally doing what they have to not go along with the federal government, not going along with the federal government, doing it in rebellion against the federal government, and even possibly trying to secede from the United States, okay? That's a possibility here. Now, I'm also being shown China. There could be a lot of rebellion happening in China too. So a lot of people in China starting to rebel against their government, and there could even be like some sort of a revolution happening there, okay? UK is a possibility for this, and even there could be some parts of Canada too. Now, I'm also being shown this in other countries too. This could be happening all over the world. People rebelling against their governments. There can also be some breakup of political parties, okay? People rebelling against political parties and not going along with it anymore. So for instance, in the US, where one party has kind of like broken up and some of those people have created a new political party in rebellion, right? So I also wanted to mention something about the British royal family too, because I saw new beginnings happening for them as well. I'm seeing in 2026 that the United Kingdom could be getting a new monarch. All right. So what that means is that Prince William could ascend the throne in 2026. And this is the year in which his father steps down, or, some other, God forbid, some other things happen in which William has to ascend the throne and become the new monarch of the United Kingdom. Now, in a video that I had done a few years ago in 2022, right when the Queen passed away, I took a look at Prince William's chart as well as King Charles's chart to see exactly what was going to happen with that family. And in that video, I did see that, that King Charles would have health problems. And 2026 was the year in which I had predicted that King Charles would have to step down, or something would happen in which William would become the new monarch and would ascend the throne. So there's a big possibility for that happening in 2026. So we could see a new monarch coming into the United Kingdom, as well as other new leaders taking over positions around the world in different countries. There could be some shakeups in different countries where people who have been elected suddenly they have to step down, right? And a new person comes in and takes over, right? Or some reorganization, right? New people getting elected that haven't been elected before. And that definitely includes the United Kingdom as well. I'm being shown the United Kingdom for their monarch and also for their prime minister too. So a lot of new beginnings for them, right? It could be both for them, or it could just be one of those for them. So the video where I made that prediction is right here. And if you want to check that out, I will link it below in the description box. Now, some of this rebellion that we see happening around the world could also be the breakup of NATO. Okay, so I'm being shown issues with NATO coming out in 2026, possibly countries starting to break away from that, or something happening with NATO. All right, for 2025, I said there might be some terrorist attacks that happen. We see a continuation of that in 2026, more potential terrorist attacks. And this, of course, could happen around the world, all right, and especially in the US. And especially in July, because that's when the US will be celebrating its 250th birthday in 2026. So, heaven forbid, there could be some sort of potential attack that happens around that time. Speaking of anger, one energy is a very fiery energy. Okay? One is ruled by the sun. It's ruled by the sun. So it's very similar to the Leo energy, but one is also very similar to Aries too. And Aries and Leo are both fire signs. Okay? So that's what the one energy is. It's kind of a combination of Aries and Leo put together, rolled all into one. And so that could definitely lead to a lot of issues involving fire. I had predicted a lot of events happening with fire in 2025, and that could be even more intense in 2026. So fires happening in places you haven't seen them before that are larger than usual. Drought too. So drought and the lack of water could be an issue in some places. Another thing is earthquakes too. And that's because whenever we have lack of water, whenever we have very dry conditions, earthquakes can be caused as a result of that. So there could be some big earthquakes that happen around the world too. There can be issues with the sun, because remember, one is ruled by the sun. So we could see some big issues happening with the sun. And I'm being shown some really big, massive flares, huge, massive flares, as well as blackouts too. Blackouts where there's no electricity, and even volcanoes too could be an issue in 2026. Let's talk about AI, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of new beginnings with AI in 2026. Okay, so remember, we're in uncharted territory. This is the new frontier. We're all going to be pioneers in 2026. And that's kind of the main theme of 2026, right? We're in the Wild West. And that includes AI as well. So we're going to be seeing new things happening with artificial intelligence, right? We're going to see a continuation of some of the things we've seen happening with artificial intelligence, such as the blur between what is real and what is not becomes indistinguishable for some people, where you just can't even tell. Is this what I'm seeing? Is it actually real, or is it AI generated, right? And that was something I predicted for 2025. And we're going to see a continuation of that in 2026, where it becomes so unbelievably realistic to people that they don't know how to separate truth from fiction anymore. And this can also cause a lot of mental turmoil too, because they're not going to know what's real anymore. This could cause a lot of trust issues with a lot of people, not trusting what they're seeing anymore. This could lead to a lot of people starting to abandon social media altogether, right? And not spending as much time on social media, or not spending as much time in the virtual world where things can be easily tricked and manipulated and something can be fake, right? There's a sense of people now wanting to have things in front of them that are real and physical, because at least you can tell that those things that are in front of you and that are physical are real, right? So this could lead to more people wanting to have real experiences now and leaving more of the virtual world behind. But we're going to see more new huge beginnings in AI. If you thought you'd seen them already, get ready, because there's going to be some big breakthroughs, some new things with AI that you haven't seen before. Now we even see AI starting to take the lead in many areas, right? Starting to become the dominant figure in certain sectors. More people losing jobs in AI. That was something I predicted in 2025. We see that happening, a continuation of that in 2026. People losing jobs in engineering, especially, okay? Education, the entertainment industry, of course. AI taking over a lot of service-based jobs. So you will see that even more so. It's going to be even more so now in 2026. All right. You're going to go into your favorite fast food place, your favorite restaurant, and there will be a kiosk there. And it won't be a person waiting on you anymore. You're going to see more kiosks. You're going to see more robots. But like I said last year, not to worry, because those people were not meant to be in those positions. If it left them because of that, they were meant to do something else. They were meant to do something that is more in alignment with their purpose. And those people will find new beginnings in what their purpose is in 2026, discovering what they really came here to do, and they will be guided to do that in 2026. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to be encouraged to start businesses, to become entrepreneurs, to start working for themselves. That's also the one energy as well. It's the energy of the entrepreneur. It's the person who is their own boss and works for themselves. We're going to see that happening. I think that could be a result of people losing their jobs because of AI, and more people guided to become entrepreneurs and to start their own businesses and to work for themselves, doing something that they really truly enjoy. And we're going to see people making bold, brave actions to do that more so in 2026, having the confidence to do that. Get ready, because the divine masculine energy is coming back. There has recently been an attack on the divine masculine energy. In order to prop the divine feminine energy up, in recent years, there's been an attack on the divine masculine energy. Okay? But you don't have to beat one down in order to prop the other one up. And so we see in 2026 a return of the divine masculine energy coming back in full force, and people utilizing that divine masculine energy to do things like starting a new business, working for themselves, taking a bold risk, and making that move and taking action, right? Now, there can be a lot of new discoveries in 2026, okay? Because of AI, we can see huge new discoveries in technology. I'm seeing huge new discoveries in medicine, some cures to diseases. Now, there can also be huge new discoveries in science as well. And with science, we see even the discoveries of new species that have been on this planet this whole time that we'd had no awareness of. And now we are discovering these new species for the first time. There can also be some huge new discoveries regarding the sun too. So yes, there could definitely be some massive discoveries regarding the sun and the solar system as well. Remember, this is the energy of birth and rebirth. So this could be a new invention or a new creation that has never been seen or never been done before. Now, there can also be a lot of children being born in 2026 because of this rebirth energy. All right. In 2025, we saw the 9 energy. There were a lot of children conceived in the 9 energy. Now in 2026, we have the energy of that conception being born. So there could be a baby boom in 2026 as a result of this. And also the birth of companies, new companies that represent the energy of New Earth, that's more consciously aware, that is against cruelty to animals, that is against, hurting the environment, that is about using clean ingredients, clean organic ingredients for the consumer. We see the rise of that in 2026. So if you have a business that is involving consciousness, right? Your business could really take off in 2026. All businesses and companies that don't hold that vibration will start to fade away. We're already seeing that. A lot of those companies going bankrupt. And not only are these companies going to start to go bankrupt, but 2026 could be the year where people become aware of a lot of the corruption that has been happening with large corporations, and the corruption comes to light. For example, in the US, the corruption of Big Pharma, working with the big food companies to poison people, right? And to suppress cures for diseases and things like that, right? So, and we started to see some of this happening towards the end of 2025, right? With the Campbell Soup Company being exposed, and that executive, literally being caught talking about how dangerous and poisonous their food is. So we're going to see more of that in 2026, discovering how corrupt some of these large corporations actually are, and how they've been working to poison us behind the scenes and actively suppress information about, like the cures to diseases and stuff like that. Okay. And comment 111 in the comments below if you would like to see some of these corrupt large corporations being exposed in 2026. Comment 111, because that's going to help the universe to know that this is something that you want to see happen. Okay. It's also going to help you to claim the energy of New Earth in 2026. The businesses that do hold that vibration of New Earth, those are the companies that are going to take off and be big in the future. So holistic, more organic companies are going to blow up in 2026. And I'm also being shown plant-based plastic. We're going to start to see the emergence of it, plant-based plastic, coming about in 2026. There can also be new fashion and new music that comes about in 2026. So we could see the emergence of a new fashion finally coming into style, something that is, very different than what we've seen. This could also be music too. A new type of music that could become popular. And that could be any area of pop culture as well, not just fashion and music. So as you can see, we have entered uncharted territory for the world. And we've also entered uncharted territory for you as well on a personal level. So we're going to talk about what you personally will be experiencing in 2026 using your personal year number in numerology. And I'm going to show you how to calculate that right now. It's very, very easy. It only takes a few seconds. So all you need is the month and the day that you were born on. You don't need the year that you were born on. All right. You're going to take the month that you were born, take that number, and add it to the day that you were born. And then you're going to add that number to the universal year number, which is 1. And that's going to give you your personal year number. And so, like, take me, for example. I was born on June 17th. June is the 6th month of the year, and the 17th reduces to an 8. So I'm going to take those two numbers and add them together. 6 plus 8 equals 14. And 14 plus 1, which is the universal year number, 14 plus 1 equals 15, and 15 reduces to a number 6. So I'm having a 6 personal year in numerology. All right. So you just take those three numbers, the date, the month you were born, the day you were born, and the universal year number, and just add them all together and keep reducing until you get a single digit, like I did, okay? Unless you get an 11, 22, or 33 as your personal year number. Those are master numbers and you don't reduce them. If you get an 11, 22, or 33, that means you're having a master number personal year. There's a big misconception that your personal year starts with your birthday. And that is a huge misconception because your personal year starts with the calendar year. How do we know that? Because in order to get your personal year number, you have to add it to the calendar year, right? We're adding your numbers to the calendar year. And so because of that, your personal year number starts on January 1st, right? It starts with the beginning of the calendar year, not on your birthday, all right? So now that you have your personal year number, I'm going to put all the timestamps below in the description box so that you don't have to watch the whole entire rest of the video. Just check the timestamps below for your personal year number so that you can find out what is personally going to happen for you in 2026. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 1 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 1 will have the exact same year because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in a different pinnacle as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 1. Now, with that being said, so if you are having a personal 1 year, that means that you are starting out at the beginning of your pinnacle. So we are all currently in a pinnacle. You will go through a cycle in your pinnacle. You'll go through all of the numbers 1 through 9. Basically, if you were in a 1 personal year, you're at the very beginning of your pinnacle. If you don't know what your pinnacle is, check out my video on how to calculate that. I'll put a link to it below in the description box. It's very important to know what your pinnacle is because your pinnacle determines basically what the energy is going to be like for you for the next 9 years. So if you're having a personal 1 year, you're going to see a lot of change in the area of new beginnings. So you're going to have a lot of new beginnings during this year, and these new beginnings could be in all areas. So it could be in the area of career, family, love, relationships, friendships. You know, it could be in anything. And you will especially be having a lot of new beginnings in whatever number your pinnacle is in. So find out what number your pinnacle is because you're going to have a lot of new beginnings, especially in that number. But you will generally have a lot of new beginnings in everything during a 1 year. You're going to have a lot of energy this year. The universe is going to basically pump you up and pump you full of energy. You will have more energy during a 1 personal year than most of the other numbers. And that's because the universe wants you to start new things. It really wants you to take the initiative and to start things, to initiate things, to get things going. And the universe is going to support you in this. Whatever you start during your 1 personal year, usually you will continue that for the next 9 years. It will be something that you will be focusing on for the rest of the years in your pinnacle. So, you know, if you've been wanting to do something, if there's something that's been on your mind that you've been really wanting to start, this is going to be the year to do that. You will be supported by the universe. You will be encouraged by the universe to do that, to get that started, to get that going, to get it off the ground. The universe will support you. It will throw things in your path that will help you to do that. And you will definitely have the energy to do it during this year. So try to start as many new projects and get as many new things going as you have been thinking about, anything that you've been desiring, anything that you've been wanting to try to do. There's something that you feel like is missing in your life. Try to get that started. Try to initiate that this year, and you will definitely be supported by the universe. Now, the focus is going to be more on you this year, and that's okay. You know, there will be other years where you can focus on other people and taking care of other people, but in this year, you need to take care of yourself, and your individual needs will come first this year, and that's okay. The main thing to keep in mind here is to be ready for major changes. You're starting out a brand new pinnacle. Everything you do now will affect your future for the next 9 years. So do not hold back the inner force of creation that is within you. Be direct during this time and be very bold. You'll have more confidence and determination this year in comparison, especially to last year, which was a time of letting go and endings, right? So this year is going to represent a time of birth, rebirth. It's going to be a time to take charge and to apply yourself to your dreams. This is also a good time to make personal changes that you have long been wanting to make, to start, like I said, new beginnings, right? Start a new diet, start a new exercise program, a new way of studying, a new way of being, a new job, a new career. Sometimes there can be some emotional upheaval and turmoil that happens during a personal 1 year, especially in the beginning of the year. So you will be challenged this year for sure. And it does sometimes take a little bit of some time to get the ball rolling, right? So there are many changes that you must make, and there's a lot of work to be done. So be open-minded, be organized, be focused, and try to avoid distractions and procrastination. Sometimes that can happen during a personal 1 year. You are basically at a crossroads, and you will need the courage and the clear head to stay on the right track. So this can be a great year for tons of new opportunities. As I said, lots of new beginnings. You're going to have a great year this year. Thank you so much for listening, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 2 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you're having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 2 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in a different pinnacle number as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 2. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 2 personal year, then you're personally going to be seeing a lot of change in the area of relationships. So 2 is the number of cooperation, working with other people, teamwork, being a team player. You will definitely advance further during this year if you work with other people. Remember that. Going about things by yourself, trying to do things alone during a 2 personal year, you will not get very far if you do that. The universe will support you the more you try to work with other people. This is going to be a year of relationships. So this will be a great year for starting new relationships, for improving current relationships. The universe will support you basically in terms of whatever energy you put out into relationships. So if you've been looking to get into a new relationship, I see this happen a lot where people enter a 2 personal year and suddenly, if they've been single for a long time, they are suddenly in a relationship, and it's a balanced, happy, committed relationship. Because they put that energy out there during that 2 personal year, and the universe matched them and supported them. So this is going to be a great time for that. If you are currently in a relationship, the universe will support you to help make your relationship more balanced, more harmonious, right? Because 2 is a number of harmony. It's a number of peace. So the universe will support you to help make your relationship more peaceful. If that's something that you want to work on this year, you're going to need tact, cooperation, and patience to keep yourself moving forward this year. There could be confrontations with other people that require you to become gentle in your approach with them. So watch out for that. Sometimes it does happen. Being forceful or uncooperative with others will definitely work against you this year. So try to compromise as much as possible. Also, your intuition will be heightened during this year. You will be highly intuitive. You will be picking up on all kinds of information around you. You will be very sensitive to all of the energies around you during a 2 personal year. So definitely find ways to protect your energy a little bit more during a 2 personal year. To remember to not take things so personally, and to watch out for being overly sensitive in regards to what other people might tell you or what other people might say to you. You may wonder what happened to all of the drive and the ambition that you felt last year. But just know that this year is going to be different. It's going to require something else from you. A delicate sense of balance and a willingness to go around obstacles without losing sight of your goals and your dreams and what you are trying to achieve. You might experience some depression and frustration this year, and sometimes it can be a struggle because it's going to be a lot slower paced than last year. So just knowing that will definitely help with this if that does happen. If you find ways to protect your energy, you will definitely be able to make the most of this 2 personal year, and you will definitely be able to feel more of the positive energies of this year. You need to be wise in all of your relationships this year. You're very capable of establishing close and even lifelong relationships now. Because sensitivity and openness are heightened, many people find their soulmate and even sometimes a twin flame during a 2 personal year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. You're going to have a great year if you're having a 2 personal year, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 3 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you're having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a 3 personal year will have the exact same year because those people will be having different transits and they will all be in a different pinnacle number. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 3. Now, with that being said, so if you are having a 3 personal year, the first thing you need to know is that all forms of communication will be supported by the universe this year. So if there's somebody that you've been wanting to talk to, if there's somebody that you've been wanting to communicate to, express something to, there's somebody that you've been wanting to express your feelings to, or if there's somebody that you've been wanting to talk to for a while but you haven't gotten around to do that, then if you do that this year, you will be supported by the universe, because all forms of communication are supported during your 3 personal year. All forms of self-expression will be supported by the universe this year. So if you have been wanting to express yourself in some sort of way, maybe you've been wanting to make a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel, or you've been wanting to create a website, or something where you're more in the public eye, something where you've been wanting to express yourself more, then this will be the year to do it, because you will be encouraged by the universe to do that, and you will be supported by the universe. Whatever effort you put into self-expression will be supported this year, and you will go far if you try to do it during a 3 personal year. Also, any creative projects that you've had on your mind, any forms of creativity, music, art, writing, especially in the areas of performing arts, those are also going to be supported during a 3 personal year. So the more you put yourself out during a 3 personal year, the more you will be supported by the universe, and you will have all kinds of opportunities come your way and will be thrown at you during a 3 personal year. I find that during 3 personal years, people just have so many opportunities that just come their way because they're a little bit more out and about, and they're putting themselves out there more, they're expressing themselves more. They have this need to do that during a 3 personal year, and all kinds of opportunities just come your way during a 3 personal year. So take advantage of those opportunities. This is going to be a great year for creating anything, and that includes children and families too. So sometimes people get pregnant during a 3 year because the universe is supporting you in terms of all forms of personal creation. Typically, people have a lot of energy during a 3 personal year, and they're usually very happy during their 3 year. 3 is a very joyful, happy number, so this can be a very positive, happy year for you. It's also a great time to make new friends. So if you've been wanting to meet new people, then the universe will support you in your efforts to do that this year. And that can be in all areas. So, not just meeting people in person, but if you were to meet new friends over the internet, over Facebook groups and that kind of thing, then you will definitely be supported by the universe during a 3 personal year if you wanted to do that. All forms of communication are going to be supported during a 3 personal year. So that includes the internet, that includes social media. So try to use all of those modalities to basically do whatever it is that you've been wanting to do. And if you try to use those forms of communication to do whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, you will be supported by the universe during a 3 personal year. Now you want to make sure to protect your energy, not try to scatter yourself in too many places. Often during a 3 personal year, people will try to do multiple projects. They're not as focused as they had been in other years. So don't spread yourself too thin during a 3 year. You might feel the need to do that this year. You might feel the need to take on multiple projects and to do multiple things. Take on as many things as you possibly can. You will be given more energy during this year. But remember that there's only so much that you can do, and you don't want to spread yourself too thin during a 3 year. And if you do that and find ways to focus on all of the good things that are happening for you during your 3 personal year, then you will stay on the positive side of this number and you will have a great year this year. And a 3 year usually is a more lighthearted, optimistic, fun, entertaining type of energy as compared to the previous year. And this is usually a pleasant time in which friendships are enjoyed and love is easily shared. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And I'll see you in my next video. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 4 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you're having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 4 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits and they will all be in different pinnacles as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal number 4 year. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 4 personal year, then you can expect to have a little bit more stability in your life this year compared to other years. 4 is a very stable number, and you're going to be challenged to kind of bring in a little bit more stability. And so relationships could become more stable, things at work could become more stable, all areas of your life could become more stable. You're going to be encouraged by the universe to make that happen, and usually it does. A 4 year is not always the easiest year. You will definitely be challenged to put in a lot of work, to put in a lot of effort. 4, as I always say, is the most hardest working number out of all of the numbers, and so usually during a 4 year, you do have to put in a lot of work. You do have to focus your energy. And usually the universe will throw something in your path to kind of help you to focus your energy on that one thing. And so you will be working hard this year, but you will also be more successful this year, because usually with that hard work, there comes a lot of success also. So you're more likely to put in the work, but you're also more likely to be successful too as a result of the work that you put into your 4 year. But what I find is that during a 4 year, people have the ability to focus more than in any other number. There's something about this number that when you enter a 4 personal year, you are able to focus so much. And if you found that in other numbers you haven't been able to focus on something, you haven't been able to focus your energy, you felt a little bit more lazy during some of the other years, you will not be feeling like that this year. You know, you're challenged to work harder, but there's something within you that makes you want to do that. You're not feeling good unless you do that. And you're given all this energy by the universe to make it happen. And you're able to focus your mind so much during a 4 year that take advantage of this year. Whatever you put your hard work and your effort into this year, you will see so much reward. You will see rewards multiplied, and you will see so much come out of it in years to come. This is the year that you have to do that though. This is the year that you have to put in that work so that you can see all of those rewards and all of that success come And it does come, it doesn't always come during the 4-year, but it does come soon afterwards. And so people often feel like they're being challenged during a 4-year, but yes, you're being challenged, but you're being challenged to be the very best that you can be. And the universe really wants to get that out of you this year. It wants to turn you into the best version of yourself. And your life usually becomes so much better because of a 4-year. Your life usually becomes more stable. You have more stability in your career, your relationships, in all areas. So make sure to not overdo it during a 4-year. Sometimes people can become workaholics. Sometimes they can just be so focused on, the goal that they have. Usually during a 4-year, people are so goal-oriented during a 4-year. Make sure to not overdo it, to give yourself breaks, and also to have a little bit of fun as well. And you will definitely have a great year, and you will stay on the positive side of the number 4 if you make sure to do that. There can sometimes be a feeling of limitation and frustration that comes from this year. However, it is a time of important opportunities that must be taken advantage of. It's a good time to buy real estate or to remodel your home. It is also a good time to take care of projects that have been postponed for too long. Fulfill your obligations and do not be afraid to spend some of that hard-earned money, right? Don't be afraid to spend some of it this year. Selling and trading during this year are usually quite successful endeavors if you decide to do that. This is going to be a year to lay the foundations for the future years ahead and to prepare yourself for the many changes that are going to come for you next year. And you will have a huge feeling of accomplishment and a sense of satisfaction as a result of all of the hard work and effort that you put into this 4 personal year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And I'll see you in my next video. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 5-year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will be also greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you are having this year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal 5-year will have the exact same year because those people will be having different transits and they will all be in different pinnacles as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal year number 5. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 5 personal year, then this will be a year for you to kind of take a little bit of a break. So last year you had a 4 personal year and you probably put in a lot of hard work, and a lot of things happened probably during that year that kind of challenged you a little bit because 4 is not always the easiest number, and you do have to put in a lot of work when you go through a 4 personal year. So the good news is that during this year you get to have a little bit of fun and you will definitely have more fun this year. So things will start to get a little less serious. Things will loosen up a little bit. You will be traveling a little bit more. You will be having a desire to do that. And you will be having a desire to just experience life a little bit more. So 5 is all about experiencing the 5 senses. That's right, we have 5 senses. And that's what the number 5 is all about. It's experiencing those senses and experiencing the world around you. So you will be doing that a lot more this year, and you will be more relaxed. You will be more outgoing. This could be a very exciting year for you. So you could have a lot more excitement. You did a lot of hard work last year. You went through a lot of stuff, and so now it's time to have fun and have a little bit of excitement. So you could be meeting new people. If you're single, you could definitely be dating a lot of people this year, and you could have a lot of opportunities to do that. You could meet somebody new and interesting, and you could date them this whole entire year, and then eventually that will lead into a commitment when you get into your 6th personal year. But it is definitely common to meet somebody new and to start something new during a 5-year. 5 is also a very romantic, playful number. Now, if you're already in a relationship, then you could be having a lot of fun with your partner this year, and you could definitely have a lot of romance in your relationship. The relationship could become more fun, it could become more playful, and so a lot of good things in terms of, just being around other people during a 5-year. And 5 is a very friendly, outgoing number. You could definitely meet a lot of new friends this year. You could have a lot of unexpected things happen. A lot of surprises can always happen during a 5 personal year. 5 is often the number of surprise. Now, the most common thing that I notice happen when people enter a 5 personal year is that change happens. In some area of their life, there is some sort of change. If you specifically want to find out what area might be changing based on your numbers, you can take a look at your pinnacles. Basically, whatever pinnacle you are in, that could determine what the area of your life will be where change will come. But yeah, you're definitely going to have a lot of change happen this year. A lot of people go through a transition or a transformation during their 5-year. I moved during my 5-year, so moving is very common. That happens a lot. But you will have some change in your life. You will have transformation. There's going to be a lot of movement during this year. And this change, of course, will always be for the better. It will always be to improve your life. So maybe you've been needing to move, but you haven't been able to do that. Or maybe you've been needing to change jobs, or you've been needing to change, something in your relationship, or you've been needing to change relationships completely, or you've been needing to change something about the way you live your life. And that often happens during a 5-year, but the universe is supporting you to make that happen, and the universe wants you to do that during a 5-year. And so much good will come out of it. You will see that in years to come. Whatever it is that changes in your life, you will definitely see a lot of benefit in the future from this change. And you're going to be challenged to make that happen, but it will happen for you during this year. So many surprises could come your way this year. Be open and ready to embrace new opportunities, and do not be overly careful this year, okay? This is a year in which a major step forward can take place if you are willing to take some calculated risks and do a little gambling, right? So you might be faced with making choices that require you to take fast action without having all of the knowledge and knowing everything, but you just have to get in on it, and you have to be fast and quick, and your reactions will be faster and quicker this year. Sometimes people can be overindulgent during a 5-year, eating too much food, drinking too much alcohol, doing other things in over excess that are not good for you. So watch out for that, be careful, and definitely you will have some unexpected adventures and a lot of lucky breaks this year. So you're going to have a great year this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 6 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 6 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in a different pinnacle number. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 6 year. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 6 personal year, you can expect to be taking on more responsibility this year. And this can be in any area. It can be in regards to family, your home, your job. It usually is in regards to your family and helping other people or taking care of other people. So it's very common for people to get engaged and to get married during a 6 year. And if not that, then it's very common for people to get in committed relationships during a 6 year. People will often start families, they'll have children. Very common for people to have children during a 6 personal year, and children become the focus. So if you have children, you will be spending more time with your kids, more quality time. You'll be spending a lot more time with your family overall. You might be more invested in your community in some sort of way. You might get more involved in your community during a 6 year. Basically, the focus isn't on you anymore. The focus is on other people and taking care of other people's needs. And that can also include your house too, because 6 is a very domestic number. So often people will have things come up with their house that need to be taken care of during a 6 year. If you've been wanting to buy a house, you could definitely do that during a 6 year. You know, home improvement projects is very common during a 6 year. 6 is the number of beauty. You could be doing a lot of things to help to make your life more beautiful during a 6 year, and the universe will support you in this. The universe will support that energy. It wants to make your life more beautiful during a 6 year, and it wants to support you in becoming more responsible during a 6 year. So you will have challenges thrown at you to kind of help with this, to kind of make you more responsible in some areas. So if there has been any areas of your life that have been lacking in responsibility, then you could become more responsible in those areas during a 6 year. But this can be a year of great progress and financial advancement also. Major career or business opportunities often present themselves, and it is a challenging year in which personal growth is joined with new responsibilities and challenges, but you will meet those challenges this year. But people in general typically become more responsible people, more family-oriented people during their 6th personal year, and they often experience a lot of love. So people will often tell me that they felt more love in their life during a 6th year than any of the other years. So you will be feeling the love from your family, from your friends. Sometimes problems and issues within a marriage or other significant relationships can come to the surface during a 6th year, and they need your attention. However, you will possess the understanding to deal with these issues effectively if you apply yourself with love and flexibility, which you should be able to do this year, as I had mentioned before, because you will be feeling more in the frequency and the energy of love during a 6th year. Another thing is often people from your past will pop back into your life during a 6th personal year. You'll have friends coming back from the past and you'll have reunions. You might have significant others, people that you had relationships with, that will come back into your life during the 6th personal year. Any acts of helpfulness and any acts of service to other people that you perform during a 6th year, you will always get that back multiple times. So try to be of service to other people, try to help out as much as you can. You're going to get that back multiple times, either this year or in years to come. Now, also remember that during a 6th personal year, you don't want to overdo it, okay? So yes, be of service to people, be helpful to other people, but don't forget to take care of yourself. Sometimes people will just neglect themselves completely during a 6th personal year. Don't do that. If you want to do things to help improve your beauty, you know, if you want to do things to take care of yourself, anything like that will be supported during a 6th personal year, because 6 is the number of beauty. So yes, take care of other people, help other people, and you'll get that back multiple times in return, but also take care of yourself. Don't forget that. And if you can remember to do that, you will definitely stay on the positive side of this number this year, and you'll have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 7 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year 7 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in different pinnacles. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 7 year. Now, with that being said, so if you're having a 7 personal year, this could be a very spiritual year for you. 7 is a very introspective number, and it's a number that kind of makes you go within. Go within to yourself and kind of figure out where you've been and where you're going. And you could really be getting to know yourself very well this year. So often during a 7 personal year, people will take time out to think about things that they hadn't before in other years. They will be very introspective and kind of figure out, like I said, where they've been, where they're at, where they're going, what they need to improve within themselves. What is it about their life that they need to improve, and what have they been focusing their energy on that has been kind of a waste of their time? How could they improve things? How could they focus their energy so that their desires and their dreams become a reality? So you could be doing that during a 7 personal year. It's a very spiritual time for a lot of people. You could be doing shadow work and working on your shadow this year, which is a great thing to do during a 7 year. People often make a lot of big self-improvements and big changes within themselves. They really get to know themselves on a very deep level during a 7 year, especially if you're in the 2nd pinnacle of your life or in the 3rd pinnacle of your life. If you're in a 7 personal year, it could be a time where you really get to know yourself. You figure out, what is it that really makes you happy? What is it that really makes you tick? What are you passionate about? This could be the year where you figure that out, where you figure out what your desires are, where you want to go in life, what's the next step? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be? You could definitely figure that out during this year. Any self-improvement or self-help that you do during this year will be supported by the universe. So if you want to get a self-help book, or you want to take a course in something that will improve you and will improve your life and improve your way of being, then that will be supported by the universe. And people often do a lot of self-improvement during 7 personal years. It's a time to go within and to analyze things. You're analyzing yourself, you're analyzing the world around you. You're going to have greater intellectual abilities during this time. So if you're in school, you will definitely have a good year in school. You'll be able to focus more on your academics and all things intellectual. Often people that are in the process of a spiritual awakening, that will get heightened during a 7 year. Or if they're not in the process of a spiritual awakening, they will start to have a spiritual awakening during a 7 year. 7 is a very spiritual number. And for me, when I was in my 7 personal year, a lot of my psychic abilities started to become more developed. My clairvoyance and my claircognizance started to become more developed during my 7 year. So it's very common with people to start to develop their psychic abilities a little bit more during this time. They start to become aware of psychic abilities that they had that whole time, but they weren't really aware of. People often become more religious. If they're not spiritual, then they become more religious during a 7 year. That's also common as well. But just remember that whatever self-improvement that you do during this year, that's going to benefit you so much if you do it during this year. The universe is going to support you, and it's really just going to make your life so much easier. It's going to improve your life so much for many years to come. So it's okay to focus on yourself this year. There's nothing wrong with that. Take this time out. This is going to be a slower paced year than some of your previous years. This is not a year for social activities, and it's not a year to try to reach goals on a material level. And you will not be as concerned with doing these kinds of things this year. And that's okay. You might need a break. This will be a great time to take some time out for yourself. Get out into nature. Get out into the environment. Go to places that have natural beauty. Beaches, forests, deserts, anything like that where you're in the natural environment. That's going to be supported, and that will definitely help you out during the 7 personal year. This is not a year for social activities, and it's not a year to try to reach your goals on a material level. Improve the quality of your life. Read, contemplate, and gain personal insight. You are very important now. Reset and attend to your own health. It's during this year that you will strengthen the foundation of your life. Remember that your success in all matters rests upon the strength of your inner self and your inner being. And there will be many strange and unusual events inspiring you to take a closer look at life. An opportunity is there for you to experience the joy and beauty of life without all of the artificial and exterior involvement of the outside world messing everything up, right? But purely the growing awareness of yourself. Too much concern and desire for material rewards will turn this period of your life into a very bad experience. So have an attitude of let go and let God. If you have that attitude, then everything will be a lot better this year and you will have a very pleasant year. So if you make sure to do that, you will definitely stay on the positive side of the number this year and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think about everything that you just heard. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. And if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. If you want to book a reading with me, I'll put that information below in the description box. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year will be like if you're having a personal 8 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal 8 year will have the same exact year because those people will be having different transits and they will be in a different pinnacle number as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 8 year. Now, with that being said, so if you are having an 8 personal year, then congratulations to you. You made it to number 8. Yay. So basically, whatever it is that you have been working towards for the past 8 years, starting with your very first personal year, the very first year in your pinnacle, whatever that is that you've been working on for the past 8 years or that you've been struggling with, usually when you get to an 8 year, you will have a breakthrough. Yay! This is good news, okay? And I see this all the time. It even happened with myself. You have a breakthrough. So you've been struggling this whole time. You've been working towards something. You've been in your 4 year, you put in the work, you put in the effort. In your 7 year last year, you did the introspection. You tried to figure yourself out. What was it that you needed to fix within yourself? And you did that during your 7 year. Now you get to your 8 year and you finally have some success. And success becomes more easy. So there's not as much of a struggle during this year. And it just comes a little bit easier. So that success comes through and it's kind of like, it's like a breakthrough. It's like, yay, I put in all this work and, I'm finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And this breakthrough happens because you did the work. You put in all that work for the past 8 years. You did this, you made it happen. And so, your success is coming because of your efforts and it's so well deserved. So after last year's constant involvement with yourself and very possible occasional doubts about the state of your life or your career or your business, you will find this year to be a relief. Things will finally work out for you. Long postponed checks and promotions finally come through. Like I said, you see the light at the end of the tunnel and an inner strength and confidence is breaking through. So this is going to be a good year for you. You could have a lot of success during this year. Take advantage of that. It's a great financial year. It's a great year for business. If you own a business or if you want to start a business, I started my business during my 8 personal year. And I had a lot of success with that during my 8 personal year. I struggled with it at the beginning of my 8 personal year because that's around the time that I started it. But towards the middle part of my 8 personal year, I started to have a breakthrough in my business and started to finally have some success. You could be spending a lot of money. That does happen. I spent a lot of money during my 8 personal year. I had to do that to get my business started and to get it going, but I got all of that money back, so much in return, because I did that during my 8 personal year. So whatever it is that you put out during an 8 personal year, you always get that back multiple times. And so be generous with your money, be generous with your time, be generous with things. You will always get that back multiple times if you do that during an 8 personal year. And remember that even if it seems like you're still struggling with something at the beginning of the year, that usually will clear up towards the middle part of the year or towards the end of the year. So it's kind of like the harvest time, right? So with farmers, they put in the work and they plow the fields during the springtime and in the summertime. And then when they get to the fall, they finally see a harvest. And so that's kind of the way the 8 year is. It's like harvest time for you. So this is your year of harvest, and the amount of reward that you receive will be equal to the amount of effort that you have put into the past 7 years, as well as into the beginning of your personal 8 year. So this year you will have an opportunity to involve yourself fully in work and material growth and to bring home the rewards. At the same time, a certain detachment is also necessary for you and for the experience you have, because it is not the reward that brings you happiness, remember that, but your experience of life. This is why before the rewarding 8 year comes, you have to have had the opportunity for growth during the soul-searching 7 year that you just had. So give into your ambitions and you will find yourself more clear-headed, better focused, and better able to pursue and to reach your goals this year. Your power is visible and strong, and other people will be able to see it for sure. Your mental creativity is going to be high. Your vision and intuition will guide you. So you will receive a lot of intuitive guidance during this year, especially in the areas of business and finances and achieving goals and ambitions. And that is divine guidance that's being given to you. At the same time, you are more efficient and you are more focused this year. There can be a loss, okay? Just keep that in mind. There can be a serious loss, such as a bankruptcy and failure, because the rewards are usually directly proportionate to the level of effort and motivation that you have put out during those past 7 years, as well as what you put out in the beginning of your 8 personal year. So, however, you know the effort that you have put out, and you know your motivation. So focus on this success and focus on the winning that you will achieve, and don't think about the fears and don't think about the doubts. And if you can do that, this will definitely be a very undoubtedly satisfying year with a lot of achievement and success. So just make sure to not spend all of your time on your goals and your finances. Make room for people and for other things during your 8 year. Don't be too much of a perfectionist also. Sometimes that can happen during an 8 year where you just kind of want everything to be perfect. And if you do all those things, you will definitely be on the positive side of this number this year, and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment below if any of this resonated with you. Definitely subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information is below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal 9 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year number 9 will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in different pinnacle numbers as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal 9 year. Now, with that being said, so if you are having a personal 9 year, then congratulations to you. You have made it to the end of your pinnacle cycle. Yay! So we cycle through all the numbers 1 through 9 in a pinnacle, and you have made it to the very end of your cycle in this pinnacle. So that's great. Whatever you have been working on in the past 9 years, you are going to be graduating from that this year. So that's good news. By the way, if you don't know what pinnacle you are currently in, you can check out a video that I did on how to calculate this. I'll leave a link to it below in the description box. But basically, the pinnacle kind of determines what the energy is for 9 years, and you've made it to the end. So whatever it is that you've been working on in the past 9 years, you're graduating from that this year, and you basically have done all the work in this area that you need to do. So basically what that means is that whatever it is that you've been struggling with in the past few years, that's going to be coming to an end this year. There's no more lessons to be learned. You've come to the end of the road. You've finished the cycle. You have learned everything that you need to learn in whatever area that is. You've done the work. You've been through the struggles. You've been through the challenges. You got to the end of the road. And so now it's time to move on from these struggles. It's time to graduate. And so whatever it is that you have been struggling with, you basically, when people get to their 9 personal year, it's kind of like they master that. They finally have mastered that. And so there's really no reason to continue it. It's done and you're moving on. So this is a great thing. That's the great thing about this year. So there's going to be a lot of graduations this year. You know, I don't like to look at things as endings. I like to look at them as graduations. So you know, you did the work, you completed it, you got it done, and now you're moving on to bigger and better things. So, yes, so this could be in all kinds of areas. It could be whatever it is that your pinnacle number is, especially, so definitely find out what that is. So it might seem like a lot of things are coming to an end for you this year, but really you're just graduating from those things. So you've mastered it, and now you're moving on to something better. Now, often people will have people from their past that will pop up during a 9 year. So don't be surprised if friends from the past or people that you had relationships with in the past come back during a 9 year. That's very, very common. You know, 9 is a very retrospective number. I say this in a lot of my videos, how 9 is kind of, you know, it's the end. So it's always looking back on all of the other numbers that came before it. And, you know, even 9, the way it's positioned, it looks like it's looking back on all the other numbers. So it's very past focused, it's very retrospective. It's very common that people from your past pop up during a 9 personal year. So just get ready for that. You will also feel like you're kind of being challenged to be more helpful and more of service to other people during this year. 9 is a very service, humanitarian, humanity-focused number. So 1 is the number of the self, and 9 is the last number, so it's the number of everybody. You might feel like you're being challenged to be more of service to larger groups of people, your family. You could become more family-oriented, more family-focused. Sometimes things will pop up with families during a 9 year where you have to come in and kind of like take care of your family. But also you might feel challenged to do something on a greater platform, to maybe do something more public that a larger number of people can see. You might be challenged to take something to a higher level, to a greater level. But this will basically be a year to tie up loose ends, to finish up all unfinished business, to clean house, and to make room for new things and this new beginning that's about to start for you. On a material level, this is a good time to get rid of unnecessary weight and to give away or to sell what you do not need anymore and to pay off old debts. On a spiritual level, your attention should turn to others and their needs. And you might have a lot of questions and you might be feeling a lot of doubts this year, but to lighten this, this burden of doubts and questions that you might have, the best way to do this is by focusing your attention in another direction, away from yourself. And you will find yourself becoming more lighter and more in touch with yourself when you do this, right? So focusing the attention on other people will help take away some of the doubts that you have during this year. This is a time of contemplation, and problems can be solved and ended easily during this year. Strained relationships will become relaxed, or they might disappear altogether. And that's very common during a 9 year where relationships just completely disappear. Relationships that are no longer necessary will just be removed from your life. And all of the sources of stress within your life, whether it be from work, family, whatever, they will be better understood and dealt with this year. Be social and communicative and enjoy music and other arts, because your creativity is going to be higher than usual during a 9 year. There can be some difficulties this year due to your desire to face obstacles and to overcome them. Decisions will need to be made, and your courage and strength may be severely tested at times. This is not going to be the easiest year all of the time, okay? Just keep that in mind. But you will feel relieved on the brink of the positive breakthrough at the end of this year. So in the beginning and maybe even in the middle of the year, it might not be the easiest year, but you will see this huge breakthrough at the end of the year. And it's really just preparing you for this brand new beginning and this beautiful future that awaits you next year. So you've reached the end of this pinnacle, and it's basically the end of a cycle. And many times you will feel the excitement of the new and promising era that is coming next. And this is a time when optimism will be your friend. But you will also experience the fear of letting go too, okay? So, however, the more you do let go, the more room there is to be filled during this next cycle. So, sometimes this can be a very emotional year, but be okay with letting go. The more you can do that, the easier this year will be for you. And you will be paving the way and letting in this brand new, beautiful era and new beginning that is on the horizon for you that will come at the end of this year. So just make sure to take care of yourself and take care of your sensitivity during this time. Protect your sensitivity. You could be more sensitive during a 9 personal year, so definitely protect your energy. And if you do all of those things, you will definitely have a great year and you will stay on the positive side of this number this year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information is below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal Master 11 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be exactly the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal Master 11 year will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in a different pinnacle number as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal Master 11 year. And also be sure to check out the personal 2 number year as well, because the 2 energy will also have effect on you during a Master 11 year. So if you are having a personal Master number 11 year, then you can expect the unexpected this year. That's kind of the theme that I've noticed with people that have a Master number 11 year. Basically, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, it's really crazy if you think about it. It's really, like, you can really just expect the unexpected to happen. Really, the only thing that you can expect to happen is a lot of big things, because this is a master number, and so A lot of big things happen during master number years. So you could have a lot of big things happen in your life, things that you just could have never foreseen, things that you would have never expected. I've looked at the charts of past presidents. A lot of them won their elections during master number 11 years. I've looked at the charts of celebrities. A lot of them became famous during master number 11 years. So, you know, it's crazy. A lot of big things can happen. And a lot of this depends on what your pinnacle is, because your personal year is just one of the numbers in the 9 numbers in your pinnacle. So if you don't know what pinnacle you currently are in, you can check out a video that I did about how to calculate this number. I'll put a link to it below. But basically, a lot of big things can happen during a master number 11 personal year, because this is a master number, but also 11 is the number of bringing illumination. So something could happen in your life that brings illumination to you, that uses you as an example to bring illumination to a lot of other people. You could be used as an example to do that, to help inspire people, to just, you know, light the way, to show people the path. So that is very common during an 11 year. 11 is also a very spiritual number. It's a very mysterious number. If you look at it, it kind of looks like a doorway or a porthole into another world and another dimension, the spiritual world and the spiritual realms. And it also kind of looks like a bridge. If you tip it over on its side, it looks like a bridge that you could walk across. And the bridge representing the bridge between the two worlds, right? The bridge between our world and the spiritual world. So for this reason, a lot of times during an 11 personal year, people will start to get all this information from the spirit realms, and it will become very clear to them. They'll start to realize that they have psychic abilities. It's very common for people to start channeling and to become mediums and psychics during a personal 11 year. This is more common during an 11 pinnacle, but it can also happen during an 11 personal year. Now, 11 also is very symbolic of the twin flame connection, because if you look at the 11s, it kind of looks like two people standing next to each other, two identical people, two twins standing next to each other. So sometimes people will meet a twin flame during a personal 11 year. If they do have a twin flame, they might meet them during this year, or they might be reunited with a twin flame during this year. There can be a focus on relationships. They can meet soulmates, people that they were meant to be in long-term committed relationships. Sometimes they will meet them during a personal 11 year. So just make sure to take care of yourself during this year. Take care of your body. Do not drink a lot of caffeine. Try to reduce your alcohol intake. Try to eat a healthy diet. That will help to reduce any anxiety that you might feel during a personal 11 year. And just remember that anything that comes up that's unexpected, well, now you know that, that's kind of just the way this year is. It can be very unexpected. And if you remember to do all of that, you will definitely stay on the positive side of this number this year, and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information will be below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal Master 22 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits that you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal Master 22 year will have the exact same year, because those people will be having different transits, and they will all be in different pinnacle numbers as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal Master 22 year. And also make sure to check out personal year number 4 as well, because some of the 4 personal year energy will affect you during a Master number 22 year. So if you're having a Master number 22 personal year, you can expect a lot of big things to happen this year. Since this is a master number, you will be required to put in more work than usual, since 22 has the energy of the number 4. And 4, as we all know, is the number of work, and it's the hardest working number. You will be challenged to build something stable and of significance within your life, and to restructure your life for the better so that there is more stability in the long run. So remember, 4 is a very stable number, and because 22 has the energy of the number 4, you will be challenged to become more stable during this year. Something might have to be destroyed in your life in order for this restructuring and this rebuilding to occur. However, after this restructuring and rebuilding of whatever it was that needed to be rebuilt in your life, after this happens, it will be a very stable time in your life. It will also be a time of attracting love, harmony, and relationships, and often people find real love during a 22 personal year, because 22 has the energy of 2 number 2s. And 2, as you remember, is the number of love, companionship, commitment, and being united with another person. So try not to get too worried about things. If you see something being removed from your life, just know that something is going to be rebuilt in its place, and that will happen to make your life better. So everything is happening to help you, to make your life more stable, to bring something more stable that will last a long time for you, and to just make things better for you. So also, don't be too hard on yourself this year. People often have really high expectations of themselves during a personal 22 year. So try to go easy on yourself, and if you can lower your expectations on yourself, then your year will be a lot easier. And if you can do all of those things, then you will definitely stay on the positive side of this number this year, and you will have a great year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and definitely leave a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. Personal reading information will be below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. So let's talk about what your year might be like if you're having a personal Master 33 year. And I want you to keep in mind that your personal year will also be greatly affected by the physical, mental, and spiritual transits you are having that year, in addition to the pinnacle that you're in as well. And that not all personal years will be the same because of this. For example, not all people having a personal year Master 33 will have the same exact year, because some of those people will be having different transits, and they will be in different pinnacle numbers as well. So keep that in mind when listening to what I'm about to tell you about your upcoming personal Master 33 year. And also make sure to check out personal year number 6, because some of the 6 personal year energy will affect you during a Master 33 year. So what can you expect during a Master 33 year? Well, this is a master number, so you can expect big things to happen, because the master numbers tend to do things in a really big way. So you can expect a lot of big things to happen, sometimes things that are unexpected and not foreseen. Master numbers are not always the easiest year, and they can be a bit more challenging than the other years, but you can achieve a lot more and often have more potential to do great, big things than in the other years. This is a year of heightened creativity because of the double 3 energy, and you might find yourself creating different projects or developing more creative talents this year. This will also be a year of personal healing, where a lot of trauma from the past comes up to the surface and to your awareness to be healed. You have a great chance to heal all of this year, and you will have greater healing abilities and be able to heal others during a 33 year, since the Master 33 is the creative healer energy. You will be more connected to the divine, and your spiritual team, especially your guardian angels, will be working more closely with you. And the veil will become much thinner, as the Master 33 energy is a very angelic frequency. You might start having a more clear and direct channel to them, especially the angelic frequencies, because of this. You're being divinely guided to heal yourself and others this year and to use whatever creative modalities you can to do that. So do this through giving people angelic guidance, counseling, teaching, and being supportive, helpful, and spreading love. Your ability to express yourself will also become greater this year, and you will start loving yourself on a much deeper level this year and sending out that energy to the world to help heal others who have endured similar trauma. And because you are in a higher frequency of love during a Master 33 year, you often will attract it during it. And this includes romantic love as well. So take advantage of this rare and blessed year that has been given to you. You will become more beautiful and you will bring more beauty to the world this year through the healing and creative and angelic energies that are given to you. So try not to scatter your energies too thin. Focus on the healing, teaching, and counseling and helping others, and spread that love that you'll be feeling for yourself this year to the world around you. And don't be too much of a perfectionist this year, because sometimes the Master 33 energy can be a perfectionist. So try to let that go as much as you can, and let go of a need to control some of the challenges that may come up during a Master number year. And just know that your life will be so much better as a result of this year and the healing that takes place during it. And if you can do that, then you will have a great year. So let me know in the comments below what you got for your personal year number. What does that mean for you? What will happen for you in this year? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you want to book a personal reading with me so we can go more into depth into the specifics in your chart to see exactly what will happen for you during this personal year, then you can check out that information below. I'll put a link to it in the description box. And definitely check out some of the other videos that I've done on how to calculate numbers like your pinnacles and your challenges and your karmic lessons. I'll put links to them below in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with other people, and I would love to have you subscribe and to become part of the family. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I love you guys, and I'm sending you light and love, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.